How does it feel to be back rolling and have a different jersey in here pretty soon?
It'd be good. It'd be good. When you split the teams apart, it's never the same, right? You're just excited to get to go out there and compete against somebody else. You get tired of playing against the same guys, the same pitchers, so it's always nice to bring in another opponent, combine your two teams together to make one, and just kind of be with each other, not competing against each other every day.
How do you feel like the chemistry of the new staff has kind of come together, and as lanes and roles and stuff is starting to fall into place?
It's been great. I mean, everyone's on the same page from top to bottom, and it's been a seamless transition because I think we have the right people here, and that's the most important thing. And everyone does their job, and they do it to the highest level. They do jobs to completion, and that's all we can ask for. So it's been good. The relationships with players are starting to pick up. Every day there's something new. Everyone's kind of filling each other out, but we're getting through that point here, middle of the fall, where people understand what they're supposed to do on a day-to-day basis, and it's been really good so far.
What has it been like for you as the head coach, now pushing and pulling all the buttons as a fall, inter squads, all that?
It's been good. I mean, for me, it's obviously new, but it's something I've always wanted to do. And there's been some challenges along the way. You think you know things, but you kind of find out they're a little bit different. So that's why I got a lot of good help, from Hutch, who's been here a long time, to Jason Kelly, who's been a head coach. So I lean on those guys a lot, and it's been good. Different for sure, but in a good way, and I like the challenge.
When you say you think you know things, what's maybe one example of that? Say, okay, I didn't quite know this. But.
It's usually stuff that comes up that I got multiple examples. I wouldn't even know where to start as far as just things with the calendar, the schedule, little stuff that pop up. I'm like, oh, I wasn't quite sure it was like that, and those guys are there to help me out. So I'm learning on the daily. I'm always a learner, but I think I've got caught up to a pretty good spot where I'm at right now.
What are you hoping to kind of learn and just get out of fall ball in general?
You just want to see your guys. I mean, you want to see the kind of depth you have. I think everyone knows who some of our top end arms are, top end hitters. It's like, who are going to be those other guys? Who are the depth pieces? Who's the next Caden Kent that goes in when Braden Montgomery gets hurt, like those type of things, and just seeing guys compete. You never know who they are really until you put another team out there and you get a crowd. But we try to do the best we can every single day just to kind of find out who they are as people, competitors, and as players. So we don't have enough time, honestly, to do that. Like, baseball is such a sport. That's why the MLB plays 162 games. So you make your best judgments on what you got, but that's really just the goal of the fall.
I know it's early, but how have you seen some of the transfers come in and kind of gel with the returners?
They've been awesome. And I think what we've done here, especially this year, is you got to bring in transfer portal guys that are good players, but you got to bring in guys that are good people that fit your culture. And a guy like Wyatt Hensler, Gavin Cash, Matt Bergevin, they're just outstanding people. You put them around guys that have been here, know how we do things. They've been awesome. I can't say enough good things about them. And some of them weren't here, and they're already rising to be, leaders of the team. So they've been great. Obviously super talented, but I would say they're better people and a really good fit for what we do.
When you were, filling out your coaching staff, what drew you to Jason Kelly, and how is he acclimated into what you're hoping for, and how maybe too has his head coaching experience helped along the way?
It's helped a ton. It's helped a ton, and just his experience in general, and the people he knows, and the things he's done. And what drew me to him was I got to work with him, and I was a young coach. When I first worked with him, I thought I was really good at what I did, and then I saw him work and how he built relationships and how he took a staff with the team we were on at that year that wasn't very good and turned them around and make them feel better than they were and made them better than they were. So all those things, all those attributes, I just think he's really good at what he does, and I want to try to surround myself with the best people, and I thought he was the best person for the job.
Internally, how do you kind of, you're a game away last year from winning it all, so just going into this year with how many returners are coming back and some of the continuity, how do you internally kind of manage those expectations as you started?
Yeah, I mean, our focus right now is on Houston Christian tomorrow, and that's going to be, call it cliche, what it is. The most important game is the next one we play. So when we play Elon first game of the year, that's the most important. I think if you just constantly hammer that message, you're not looking towards the end, because the guys who have been there know how hard it was to get there. A couple balls had to bounce our way. I mean, who knows? Things change. Jace doesn't rob that homer first game of Omaha. Ball doesn't hit third base. Like, baseball's hard. So if we don't take it day by day, it can get miserable real quick. So I think that's just a message constantly. And I think you can never try to recreate a season. And I really thought, after, my first year here, going in that second year, we tried to recreate too much of what we had the year before. And we're not going to do that this year. We're not going to make that mistake. We're just going to this team is going to take on its own identity. It hasn't happened yet, but we're getting there. So whatever this team becomes, whatever the slogan becomes, whatever the prop becomes, all those things just happen. So I think we got to let them happen instead of trying to make them happen.
When it comes to tomorrow's game, Coach, what's the plan for usage on certain guys, whether it be position players or pitchers? And then what's the health status of the team? I know it's the fall, but
Yeah.
we know a few guys are sitting out like Sadeo and Grohovic and Shaw. What about the rest of the fall?
Yeah, those guys will be out. LaViolette will be out. He's got a minor quad. It's just not worth it to go out there and possibly get hurt in the fall. So he'll be out. We'll throw 12 pitchers, maybe more, but 12 innings worth of pitching. Lampkin won't throw, Prager won't throw, Josh Stewart won't throw, a few other guys. You'll get to see some new guys out there. Miles Patton will start the game, transfer from Long Beach State. From a position player standpoint, out of the 12 innings, we'll play a group of guys the first 7, then another group of guys in the next 5. So we'll treat it like 2 games. You'll see in the 8th inning a new lineup get put out there, and you get to see some new faces. So it gives us a chance too, with Grohovic's out, Schott's out, LaViolette's out. It gives you a chance to see some of these other guys and kind of see the depth we have.
Where do you see Gavin Cash kind of playing right now as you guys bring him into the fold?
Yeah, he's starting in left field right now. He'll start in left field tomorrow. That was always the plan when we recruited him, when we brought him in here. He's played first predominantly, but he's a pretty good athlete. Played outfield in high school, so we want him. He's going to get every opportunity to be our left fielder, and so far he's done nothing to lose that. So he'll start tomorrow in left field and say hit 4th or 5th. I haven't really looked at it too closely yet.
So does that mean Sorrell's moved over to right field?
Sorrell will be in right field. Tomorrow Sorrell will be in center field, just because if there's ever a situation where Jace wasn't playing, Sorrell would be in center, and then Yamal George, I call him Do-It-All Yamal, he'll play right, and then he'll play 3rd in the second half. He's been catching too. He will probably not catch tomorrow, but he'll start in right, and then the second half of the game he'll play 3rd base.
What are the biggest things you're looking for when you play another team in the fall?
Just a level of compete and guys into the game, and I think taking the failure of baseball is different in practice and then into a scrimmage that doesn't necessarily count into a real game. So just kind of how you handle yourself, how you compete, how you pull for each other. Do we do the little things right? Do we pick the ball up, throw it to first base? Are we picking up the signs the right way? Are we not missing signs? Just little tiny stuff we've been working on a day-to-day that'll get magnified tomorrow. We'll have to take a lot of notes, go back, fix it. That's kind of why we do these things, right? This one and the next one is kind of like a dress rehearsal, not only for me, but for the players. And we met today about when we eat team meal, when we do BP, what you wear to batting practice, just all those little stuff that can sneak up on you real quick. So these days are really good preparation for the whole staff and for the whole organization.